Hello, everybody, and welcome to the drive-thru. I'm your host, Tony T, as we broadcast live here on Pig Dog's YouTube channel and throughout social media. We'll get you out of here well before the top of the hour, as what we do here on the drive-thru Monday through Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time is deliver live free sports picks for the games in the primetime hour. And to deliver those winners are professional handicappers over at Pig Dogs and Sports Chat Plus. Let's take a peek at who'll be on here for tonight. All right, we got Chris Ruffolo as co-host. Dionne D'Amico is with us. Ron Romanelli. The center square, Joe Duffy. Joe D'Amico from Las Vegas, Southern California's own. Well, he's moved from Texas, I believe. It's Big Al McMordie. And we got Sean Murphy as well with us. All right, here's how they're going to line up. We got Duffy, D'Amico, McMordie, Murphy, Romanelli, Ruffolo, Mitch. Well, no, Mitch is a late scratch. Yes, Mitch a late scratch. Then I will close this one out. All right, Chris. Well, the Yankees couldn't get it done yesterday. It'll be the Red Sox moving on to take on the Rays.
Yeah, and that was, well, we thought it would, at least a couple of cappers on the drive-thru thought it was going to go the Yankees' way, but
yep.
You know, the Red Sox just rose to the occasion. Garrett Cole, apparently another one of those pitchers that you can ride to the playoffs, but once you get there, well, maybe another story. So we'll have to see how the rest of the playoffs shakes out, but already off to a great start.
All right, he is. All right, let's get on here with the drive-thru. Let's welcome Joe Duffy to the show. You'll find him over at Pig Dog Premium. Joe, what's happening?
Everything is fantastic, and of course, the pre-show is always fun when the other Joey D is in the green room.
It certainly is. And maybe we should record that, go live with that. That would be something. All right, here we go. We got action going on here. Not as bad as last year. I think UMass takes it for this year with the Toilet Bowl. But 12 Eastern Time, Bowling Green will host Akron here. Bowling Green Lane 14, total 45.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, look, sometimes you got to win ugly. I know that it's much more fun to bet on the marquee games and some of those sites where their sole job is to direct you towards the sportsbook sponsors. They're always going to make it sound like just bet the favorite and all the high-profile games. But this is a game in which, look, I've said for years that for the most part, most of my systems would really fall under the umbrella being counterintuitive. But college football is the notable exception. A lot of my systems are more intuitive. For example, as I've said many times, it's the number one momentum sport. And something here that does make perfect sense, I've got a system that basically says when you go with a big road underdog, when the odds makers are telling you that the points are going to be tough to come by, take those points. Look, the posted total is, I believe, 46. So therefore, when you're getting 14.5 points, that's much more valuable if you're talking about than it would be if you're talking about a wide open game in the Big 12. Or, of course, we've seen the MAC plenty of wide opening games where the total might be 70 or 72 and whatnot. And in fact, they got a very specific system that is 479 and 352. My power ratings, and as you know, I subscribe to a lot of different power ratings, but the one that my research and discussions with some sharps who have been exploiting this for years, the number one power ratings out there has this as a 9.8 point game, thus a 3.8% betting edge. My top simulator has Akron covering 63% of the time based on 10,000 simulations. So yes, it's not going to be a fun game to watch, but it's going to be fun to watch the final couple minutes when we are likely well within the 14.5 points. So Akron plus the 14.5. W marks the center square.
All right, Joe Duffy here on Akron plus 14 against Bowling Green. All right, Chris, you've seen a little. I've seen some Akron. They looked a little improved here. Bowling Green Lane 2 touchdowns here. It's kind of tough to lay, but they do have a win against Minnesota.
They have a win against Minnesota, but I think that win against Minnesota was more about Minnesota losing that game than it was about Bowling Green winning it. And like Joe said, sometimes you got to just, slap lipstick on a pig and watch it come through for you, and that's exactly what we're doing here. I like the points we're getting with Akron. I just think it's more of an anti-Bowling Green as a favorite play than anything else. And, some of those games that fall through the cracks with bookmakers, this might be one of them. So I like Akron plus the points as well.
Yeah, they met last year. In last year's meeting, if you remember this one, Akron 31-3 over Bowling Green. Akron was able to run the football for 195 yards in that one. So the play here will be on Akron plus 14 against Bowling Green. This one has a start time of 12 Eastern Time on ESPN Plus. All right, Joe, let's take a look over at Pig Dog. We know there's only one game in Major League Baseball, but it's a football weekend starting tomorrow. We got NFL and college football. A big weekend here. We're showing you profit here in the NFL for this year. What do you have going on over at Pig Dogs Premium?
Yeah, I made sure I actually got some of my picks up early. Of course, I do have the baseball total for tonight. You don't want to miss out on that. But off a sweep of my name place at my Conference USA West total of the year on the Rice game under, and my Saturday night football interconference game of the year on New England. As I said at that point, look, I've been monitoring contrarian information for decades. That is as strong of a contrarian play as I ever saw on my life. New England, and of course we had some computer software. Our computer simulator really liked New England as well. We cashed in with that. Already up our AAC total of the year and Big Ten cross-divisional total of the year. They're wise guy plays, but they're also name plays for those people who do ask about of your wise guy plays, which are my highest rated plays. If you had a single out, just one or two, we assign the names to them, and they're the two biggest plays that are up so far for this weekend. I've got Thursday up, I got Friday up, and I already got 3 Saturday wise guy plays up. And yeah, check out my college football weekly only, and also my combined NFL and college football weekly pick-back. Unload on that right now.
That's right. Got to get on board with Joe Duffy over at Pick Dogs. You can see the numbers here in NFL. 205 units of profit. He's got his Wednesday night play tonight from Major League Baseball. If you'd like to get on board with Joe Duffy, he also has his Thursday night football. But like Joe said, get on board with that 7-day pass, that weekly pass. It'll get you every play that Joe releases here at Pick Dog Room for the week. Include all his NFL Week 5, all his college football for Week 6. We're right into the Major League Baseball. We'll have the wild card game tonight. Then we get right into the divisional series late this week, early next week. It's a good time to get on board with Joe Duffy at Pick Dog Room with that 7-day all sports pass. Take those winnings, go long term with Joe, because he does have his college football NFL season packs right now at Pick Dog Room. Get on board with that and get every play from Joe Duffy this football season, regular season, and postseason bowl games at Pick Dog Supreme. All right, Joe, it's always great having your show. Continue that success, and we'll talk with you in a couple days.
All right, gentlemen and lady, have another fantastic show.
All right, stay healthy in your softball game, by the way.
Yeah, that's true. I might be playing in a parents versus kids softball game. I might hurt something. We'll see.
We'll see. All right. Joe Duffy here on the drive-thru. I'll continue our coverage here with Chris Ruffolo. And now it's time to welcome Dionne D'Amico to the show. You'll find her over at Pick Dog Room, where she's doing fantastic work. You've seen her top of the leaderboards. So let's go ahead and bring in Dionne right now. Dionne, what's going on?
Not much. Thank you for having me again, Tony.
Great having you aboard here. We're going to look at the game. Primetime. Wow, primetime CBS is going to show this one. Texas A&M to host Alabama. Bama going to lay 18 on the road, total 51.5.
Yes, sir. So, gentlemen, Nick Saban seems to go out of his way to beat his former assistants. He is 24-0 straight up against them, and things don't look too promising for Texas A&M head coach Jimbo Fisher. The Aggies have dropped and failed to cover their last 2 games, both against teams they were favored over. To make matters worse, their defense also has injuries to 2 of their starting cornerbacks and have to face the explosive passing attack of the Crimson Tide. With quarterback issues and no ground game, the offense is overmatched here, facing the strong Alabama stop unit. The Texas A&M defense has good numbers, but they haven't faced the level of offense like this. That accounts for over 45.6 points per game. The Crimson Tide have taken the last 8 meetings in the rivalry against a straight up going 5-2 against the spread the last 7. The Tide rolls here.
All right, Dionne here on the Crimson Tide minus 18 here against Texas A&M. All right, Chris, the line looked to me a little light here. Every time I've seen Alabama and Texas A&M get together, just seems to me that Alabama is a little bigger, a little bit more physical in look and size and strength against Texas A&M. And as Dionne said, Texas A&M's offense has really struggled this year with, of course, Mon moving on to the NFL.
Yeah, so I think this game is just all about if Alabama takes A&M seriously, because A&M didn't look like the top 10 team that they were ranked as. But are they as bad as the unranking that they're sitting at right now? I'm not so sure. But Zach Calzada is just not the answer for the Aggies at quarterback. And I think Alabama rolls here as well. I think A&M's in trouble for at least a couple more weeks.
All right, great here. Alabama minus 18 against Texas. This one's going to be featured in primetime, 8 p.m. Eastern time, over on CBS. All right, Dionne, let's take a look over at Pick Dogs Primetime. Well, we know we have that one game from Major League Baseball, but it's a football weekend starting tomorrow. Doing fantastic work in college football. 860 units of profit, all documented over at Pick Dogs. So if you check out Dionne's profile page of the site, you can check out every play. What do you have going on over at the site?
Well, Tony, I have some games already posted that I feel very strongly about. My Thursday night NFL winner. I also have my Thursday my big college football touchdown play, and Saturday I have one of my strongest college releases yet in my Lucky Sevens play. You can get them all right here, right now at Pick Dogs.
That's right. Get on board with Dionne D'Amico over at Pig Dogs. Premium 860 units of profit. College football this year. Document. She's showing profit the past 30 days. She's showing profit for this year. All document over at Pig Dogs Premium. If you visit the site, she has her Lucky Sevens play going on right now over at Pig Dogs Premium. Get on board with that. An NFL Thursday night winner. He also has a college football season pass up there. Get on board with that as well with Dionne D'Amico over at Pig Dogs Premium. That 3, 7, and 30 All Sports Pass. If you get that 30 All Sports Pass, you get every play from Dionne for the next 30 days. That would cover college football, the NFL, into the Major League Baseball playoffs. NBA starts in 2 weeks. It's a good time to get on board with that 30 All Sports Pass with Dionne D'Amico, putting up some great numbers over at Pig Dogs Premium. All right, Dionne, as always, great having your show. Continue that success, and we'll talk with you in a couple days.
All right, thank you. Have a great day.
All right, Dionne D'Amico here on the Drive-Thru. Join here with Chris again. Hey, reminder, guys, be sure to subscribe to our channel. Free picks every single day. It all gets started with that morning show. During the week, it's 11 a.m. Eastern time with Mitch, Rod Zawacki, Brian Bittler, Joe Madden. And some great value right now is that YouTube members VIP. Follow the link below and get signed up. And, of course, we're here Monday through Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern time with the Drive-Thru. And, of course, we always ask for your help. Help us build our audience with those likes, those thumbs up, Chris. It really helps us out.
Absolutely, Tony, it does. It helps Pick Dogs get bigger and better every single day, because at the end of the day, the Pick Dogs family are the ones that we do this for. So keep those likes coming in. Helps us build up the Drive-Thru. Helps us get the Cappers on, because they want to be part of the biggest and baddest channel out there as well. So keep those likes, those thumbs up coming in, because like Tony says, we really appreciate our love and support.
We do appreciate it. All right, let's continue on here on the Drive-Thru. Back in Las Vegas, Nevada. It's Joe D'Amico in Las Vegas. Joe, what's happening?
I'm very excited, Tony. We're midway through the week, but a lot of winners on the board. Tony, I just realized this is the first time two D'Amicos were on television at the same time, and they weren't defendants in some mob case. It's a great day. It really is. No, honestly, Chris, what am I going to say? Back in the 80s and 90s, No, I'm just kidding. It was really just a good time. I'm really proud to be sharing the screen with you and Chris, Sean, all my friends here, little Ronnie Romanelli. I love him. Big Al, he's one of my oldest friends in the business in the world, actually. But, it's such a pleasure to be on the screen with Dionne D'Amico. We've been together over 20 years. I told her just the other day, because she's still one of the top college football handicappers in the world, that I taught her everything she knows, but I didn't teach her everything I know. She sent me inside to go do dishes, I'll tell you that. I don't think it's funny, honey, but she is one of the top. Even the dogs are barking. That's how excited they are, honey. Look at that. It's a great day in the D'Amico house. Even the dogs love Dionne. But, it's always great to be sharing the screen with you and Chris and the crew over Big Dog. Thank you for having me again today.
Great having you on the show, Joe. All right, we're going to look here at some ACC action, 3:30 Eastern time. Syracuse at home. They're here hosting Wake Forest. Wake Forest is going to be a road favorite here, 6.5, total 57.
Yeah, them dogs, they are barking again. I'm going to tell you right now, guys. This is a funny situation. It's not Clemson. It's not Louisville. It's not Pitt. And it's not even Virginia Tech. Very quietly, Wake Forest is the only ACC team with an undefeated record. Demon Deacons, 5-0 overall, including 3-0 mark in conference play. Their offense is putting up over 38.4 points per game. But, guys, it has been their defense that has amazed the college football world. I know I'm amazed, and a lot of you out there, the handicappers, are amazed as well. 18.2 points per game they allow, 7 takeaways, 16 sacks. That is amazing. Those are like SEC numbers, and it's off the charts. Guys, what are the stunted and immobile Cuse quarterbacks, Schrader and DeVito? What are they going to do? By the way, these two guys, 3 TDs, 4 INTs, and they haven't faced a defense like this yet. How the heck are they going to contend here? I feel the line is currently 6 right now, and I have them winning by 10 to 12 points. Anything under a touchdown, I feel here, is an early Christmas gift. This team is riding some momentum. They believe they can win. They're going to win. They want to run the gauntlet and go undefeated, definitely in conference play. And I'm going to tell you this. I think they have what it takes to do just that. But I'll tell you right now, Syracuse, if anybody's going to stop them, it ain't going to be Syracuse. Too many problems at quarterback. They have some bright spots on this team, but they can't seem to get too much going. And I don't see their offense between Schrader and DeVito getting anything going against this defense. This defense has lit up some very mobile quarterbacks. Schrader and DeVito. I almost said D'Amico. Schrader and DeVito, probably his second cousin. Schrader and DeVito. Guys, let's face it, not the most mobile guys in the world. They're really not. I see these guys. I don't want to see anybody get hurt, but I think if anybody's going to get hurt, It's going to be one of these two guys in this game. This defense is ferocious. They're going to eat these two guys up no matter which one is at the helm. That's why I keep naming two, because they haven't really named who's going to start just yet. But I'm going to tell you right now, -6, Wake Forest is an early Christmas gift.
All right, Dionne D'Amico says take Wake Forest here, laying the 6, shop for the best number there. All right, Chris, what say you in this one? Syracuse does play defense pretty well. They've covered 4 of 5, and they beat Liberty at home, went to 4 straight wins. Wake Forest, they beat the shirt on your back there pretty good there, Joe. Virginia, they pounded them pretty good. Virginia hasn't really good in the road games. What say you in this one?
Well, it's funny. I know you had a bit of a wry smile when the dogs were barking in Joe's background, because I'm pretty sure you had Syracuse on Monday, if I'm not mistaken.
I did.
But you know what? I'm still going to be Switzerland here. I'm going to be neutral. I'm going to stay in the middle. I'm taking the over here. I think this is high scoring whichever way you slice it, and then between two defenses that have good numbers on the surface, but realistically haven't done that much to impress me this season. I could see a game where both teams get into the 30s. One could potentially get into the 40s. I think the number's really, really light on the total here.
Now, I don't know. Rod Zawaki's on vacation, but I know if he was in the chat room, when the dogs bark and the capper gives out the favorite, you know what happens, right? You know what happens.
That's why I said
it. That's why I'm smiling when I heard the dogs barking. All right. So Wake Forest here from Dionne D'Amico, laying the 6.5, a shot for your line here. This one will start Saturday at 3:30 p.m. Eastern time. All right, Joe, let's take a look over at Pick Dog Premium. We know we have one game on the board tonight for Major League Baseball, but tomorrow football begins again. NFL, we got college football, a couple games in the playoffs tomorrow. Divisional round of the baseball series begins tomorrow, divisional series. What do you have going on over at Pick Dogs Premium?
Tony, Chris, everyone, I'm coming off 8-3 run in college football. How about my first game of the month released last Saturday? Pac-12 game of the month, USC easy winner. We continue to bust your book this Thursday night. 2 big winners. My college football high roller play, they're on a 27-10 run. That's documented. And my NFL blue chip play, 9-2, my last 11, going back since the beginning of last season. And then there's this Saturday, guys. I've already purchased a huge winner. My SEC West game of the month. Guys, this is even higher rated than last week's USC Pac-12 game of the month winner. Get them all. Ensure yourself a winning week right here at Pick Dogs. They're all posted already. Plus, I'll have a few more winners posted later tonight between college and pro football. I'm very excited about this week, Tony. I'm telling you now, the dogs, they're barking. Dionne's winning, I'm winning. We're not in handcuffs. It's great. It's a great day on Pick Dogs with you, Chris, and the crew.
That's right, guys. Get on board here with Dionne D'Amico over at Pick Dogs Premium. You see the numbers here in college football. 325 units of profit. That's all documented at the site. Joe has his SEC game of the month right now on the site, as well as high roller plays from college football, NFL blue chip play. So get on board. Why not go ahead and get that 7-day all sports pass from Joe? Every play from Joe for 7 days. That includes week 6 college football, everything there. Week 5 NFL, all his plays there. Major League Baseball playoffs, the wild card round. We're into the divisional series starting tomorrow. So get on board with Joe D'Amico over at Pick Dogs Premium with those plays right now. And of course, add a second capper with that 2-for-1 capper promotion. Even greater value there. All right, Joe, as always, great having you on the show. Let's go with that D'Amico 2-for-1 capper promotion. Sounds pretty good there, Joe.
I love it. We got to get Dan out of the guest room right now because the dogs are going crazy, Tony. They're running around all over the place. I got Teaser, Dice, Keno, and Pygo. They're going nuts. They want Mama out of the room. Guys, thank you for having me, Tony. I love you. Chrissy, I love you. Everybody in the show, good luck. Everybody out there, good luck. Have a winning day.
You too as well. Joe D'Amico here on the drive-thru. Let's continue on with our coverage here with Chris Ruffolo. Now it's time to go ahead and welcome in Big Al McMordie. You'll find Big Al over at Pick Dogs Premium, where he does fantastic work for the year. I believe he's over 2,000 units of profit. Let's bring in Al right now. Al, weren't you born in Pittsburgh?
I was born in Houston, Texas, but I grew up in Pittsburgh. Yeah, I've lived in Dallas, I've lived in Charlotte, Washington, D.C. area, Las Vegas, Los Angeles, lived all over.
All right. Is your dog in the room?
He's right next to me.
All right.
He's quiet. Let's keep it that
Let's keep it that way. Okay, here we go. 3:30 Eastern Time, CBS. Auburn will host Georgia. Georgia laying 15 on the road, total 46.
Yeah, I was listening to Joe Duffy earlier, and I couldn't agree with Joe more about college football being easily the biggest momentum league out of all the different leagues that we pay attention to. And I had Georgia last week. It was a huge momentum play. And that was my biggest rated play of the entire season to date against Arkansas, and they won that ball game 37-0. Now that's back-to-back shutout wins for the Bulldogs. And things to note about this team. Number one, they're giving up 4.6 points per game through the first 5 games of the season. They're one of only 5 teams the past 42 years to accomplish that feat. The number 1 team was back in 1993, Florida State. Through its first 5 games, gave up just 2.8 points per game. The other thing notable about this Georgia team is that it is outscoring its foes, it's covering the spread by 15.7 points per game. That leads college football as well in that category. But even though college football is in many ways a momentum sport, sometimes it flips and you have to go against the momentum. And that's what I'm going to do here. And when you take a look at how teams do when they cover the point spread through the first 5 games by more than 15.5 points per game, they do okay at home, but they don't do well on the road. And of course, Georgia's on the road here. And if you take a look at how teams do when they're playing a winning team, and they're on the road and they're covering the spread by an average of more than 15.5 points per game, those teams are 17 and 35 ATS, including 0, 14, and 1 ATS when priced from minus 6.5 to minus 16.5 points, which is the case here. Another stat that goes against the Bulldogs off those back-to-back shutout wins. Teams are 12 and 41 against the spread on the road off back-to-back wins if they gave up 6 or less points combined in the previous 2 games, and their opponent is off a straight up and against the spread, which of course Auburn is with that upset win last week. I'm going against the best team in football, the hottest team in football. I'm taking Auburn plus the 14.5.
All right, plus 14.5 here with Auburn. All right, Chris, wasn't too long ago when Georgia did not get an offensive touchdown against Clemson in that 10-3 win.
Well, that was exactly the point I was going to make. This is still a pretty good Auburn defense, even under Brian Harsin, who hasn't really, I don't know if he's gotten the team fully together yet, but there's still a lot of good pieces there. And the Georgia quarterback situation is still up in the air. And I think this is a black and blue game, even if they did have a healthy quarterback and a clear direction at quarterback. I think this one's, I like the under here, and I lean towards Auburn in the points as well.
All right, great here in Auburn, plus the 15 against Georgia. This one will have a start time, 3:30 Eastern time on CBS. All right, Al, let's take a look over at Pick Dogs. We know there's one game tonight for Major League Baseball, but tomorrow football begins here with the NFL and college football, the divisional series for Major League Baseball as well. What do you have going on over at Pick Dogs Premium?
Well, I've got the baseball game tonight. I love to play tonight, and I will be working on college football the rest of tonight. I've already handicapped the NFL. I should have about 7 plays on Sunday. I'm going to pass on the Thursday game in pro football, but we should have about 7 plays on Sunday, and then I should have a huge card on Saturday as well. Coming off a nice week, we're 21-6 our last 27. We've cashed 7 straight days, so hopefully we'll keep it going through the weekend. We had, as you know, a pretty bad September, so it's nice to see October start off very well. And folks can join for a week or for a month. Just go to the Pick Dogs site, and you can team me up with one of the other champion handicappers here at Pick Dogs on the 2-for-1 handicapper special.
That's right, guys. Get on board here with Big Al McMordie over at Pick Dogs. Premium seed numbers 2,205 units of profit, showing profit yesterday, showing profit past 7 days, showing good profit the past 30 days, and for 2021, 2,205 units of profit. He's got his big play tonight for Major League Baseball for $40. Get on board with that. You can take those wins, go long-term with Big Al, try him out for the week. He'll get all of his NFL plays for week numbers. For week 5, college football, week number 6, Major League Baseball divisional series. And of course, you can take those wins and go long-term with Big Al McMordie, because he does have his NFL and college football combined season pass. We get all his plays from the NFL and college football, regular season, postseason, and bowl games. All right, Al, as always, great having your show. Continue that success, and we'll talk again tomorrow.
Thanks, guys. Talk to you on Thursday.
All right, Big Al McMordie here on The Drive to here, joined with Chris Ruffolo. Let's continue on here on the show. It's time to welcome one of the newest cappers on our show is Sean Murphy. You'll find him over at Pick Dog Premium. Let's get Sean aboard right now. Sean, how's it going?
Hey, guys. How's it going tonight?
Oh, it's going great, going great. All right, we're going to stick to college football. We got this game here with Friday with Cincinnati and Temple with the Bearcats laying 28.5, total 54.
Yeah, I can understand why a lot of people are probably looking to back Temple as the underdog here. I mean, we've got Cincinnati coming back home, short week, off that huge win at Notre Dame last Saturday. But Temple's just not a team that I want to go near right now. I was actually quite low on the Owls at the start of the year. Back in week 1, I actually had Rutgers over Temple, and that was one of my biggest plays of the season so far. And Rutgers won that game 61-14. Now, since then, we've seen Temple put together 3 wins in their last 4 games, but you really have to consider the teams that they've been beating here. Their wins have come against Akron, who we talked about earlier, Wagner, who's an FCS team, and last week against Memphis. And if you look at that Memphis game a little closer, Temple actually fell behind in that game 17-0 right out of the gate. And I think from there, the Tigers kind of just took their foot off the gas, and I think Temple just benefited from a weak Memphis defense and got back into that game. They just won't be so fortunate here this week against Cincinnati, which, the Bearcats really need to show up in these national TV games and not just win, but kind of, win convincingly, because, they're one of those teams that needs a little bit of help. They can't just get through on their schedule alone, even though they have the big wins over Notre Dame and Indiana so far. Another interesting thing I see here in this game, if you look at Temple, they turned the ball over 5 times in their first game this season in that game against Rutgers. Since then, they've only actually had 1 turnover, and I think sometimes turnovers end up being there's a bit of a luck factor to that. And I think in this game, you look at Cincinnati, they've actually turned the ball over at least once in all 4 games, 2 or more times in 2 of the 4 games. I think we may see a little regression to the mean here for both teams. And we could see the Owls turned over a couple of times. They could end up flipping the field and giving the Bearcats a couple of extra possessions, which they probably don't need in this game. I think this is just one of those games where the spread, it looks pretty big at the onset, but I think once we get to halftime, it may actually look like a fairly short number to take care of in this one.
All right, Sean Murphy here is going to go with Cincinnati minus 28.5 against Temple. We talked about, they face physical teams. Temple was held as 14 to Rutgers, losing 61-14. They faced BC, lose 28-3.
Yeah.
That game against.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah,
go ahead, Chris.
Sean.
No, go ahead. I was going
to say. The game against BC.
We can't figure this out. There's a delay on the camera here.
Go ahead, Sean.
I'm just going to sit back and let Sean go.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, the game against BC, what were they? A 15-point underdog, and that was a game where they just couldn't do anything offensively. And it was kind of similar in the game against Rutgers. I followed closely back in week 1. It's one of these teams that their quarterback situation isn't great. They've got Dionne Mathis in there, and he's been kind of up and down this season. I think the Bearcats are just so loaded on both sides of the ball, and I like on defense that their strength is from the back in. Their secondary is arguably the best in college, among the best in college football. Top 5, I'd put it up there. So it's one of those games where if Temple's playing from behind, I just think you can quickly get away from them. Obviously, the Bearcats, it's a letdown spot for sure. Also, with next week they're playing UCF, but I think Temple is just bad enough that this one can the margin can stretch out over the course of the 60 minutes.
Yeah, and then UCF with a backup quarter with Dylan Gabriel out, and they've had some bad losses, and UCF's defense has not been good. The offense is going to be challenged there as well, facing Cincinnati. But here, Cincinnati minus 28.5 against Temple. This is your Friday night game with a start time of 7 p.m. Eastern time. This one's on Big ESPN, so it's going to be a focus game, no doubt. All right, Sean, let's take a look over at Pick Dogs Premium tonight. Well, we know there's one game in Major League Baseball. Tomorrow begins the football week here with college football and NFL. You're doing really well in college football this season, 365 units of profit. What do you have going on over at the site?
Yeah, I've got to play on the baseball game tonight. Actually, I've had 10 straight run line winners. So tonight I'm going for number 11 in a row in the Cardinals-Dodgers wildcard game. I've already got Sun Belt Conference Game of the Year up for tomorrow night, so we'll try to bounce back from actually a rare poor Saturday in college football last week. So we'll look to get the week started right tomorrow night in college, and I should have a first half play actually on the NFL for tomorrow night. I hope to get that posted later tonight.
That's right, guys. Get on board with Sean Murphy over at Pick Dogs. You see the numbers here. 356 units of profit here for college football. Document this season. He's got his baseball play tonight available over at Pick Dogs Premium, so you get on board with that. Of course, you can take those winnings, go long-term with Sean because he has that 3, 7, and 30 All Sports Pass where you get every play that Sean releases over at Pick Dogs Premium for that time period. Let's say you want to try him out for 7 days, go for that. That will guarantee you every play that he releases for Week 6 college football, Week 5 the NFL, the Major League Baseball Divisional Series, which begins tomorrow and is played for tonight with that 7-day All Sports Pass. And of course, you can take those winnings and go long-term with Sean because Sean has a full football season pass up right now over at Pick Dogs Premium for college football, and they'll combine his NFL and college football season pass into one pass over at Pick Dogs Premium. So that's a good one to look at as well. All right, Sean, as always, great having your show. continue that success, and we'll talk with you next week.
All right. Thanks, guys.
All right, Sean Murphy here on the drive-thru, right, joined by Chris. By the way, if you missed any of our picks, we're going to do a recap at the end of the show and get you all caught up. All right, let's continue on here on the drive-thru. We're now going to welcome Ron Romanelli to the show, and you'll find Ron over at Pick Dogs Premium. He's got an NHL play for us tonight. Of course, NHL will start on Tuesday. All right, let's bring him in right now. Ron, how you doing? Did you happen to catch Alex Smart's segment on Monday, by the way, or was it Tuesday?
I was just going to mention I saw Alex Smart's synopsis yesterday, and I have to say I think he's right on the money. I couldn't agree more. I mean, man, what a great segment that was yesterday.
I thought of you when I saw it. Ron's gonna like this one. All right, Ron, you're gonna be looking here. We're gonna go here with the it looks like a playoff prop here with the Capitals.
Yeah, I've been looking at this Capitals team. You know, this is a team that still has a good amount of talent on its current roster, but I think there's just some major holes that we have to look at as well. You know, the offense is still going to be there. We still have the familiar names: Alex Ovechkin, Nicholas Backstrom, TJ Oshie. Those guys are getting a bit up there in the age department. We saw Alex Ovechkin scored 24 goals in 45 games last year, which is still very, very good, but just not the typical OV numbers that we're used to seeing. And overall, I think Washington's going to be fine in the scoring department, but keeping pucks out of their own net is, I think, they're going to be the difficult part for this team this season. The defense lost both Zdeno Chara and Brendan Dillon in the offseason. Dillon, I think, is a huge loss. He was second on the team in plus-minus rating at plus 15. He played in every single game last year, 56 regular season games with the Caps, and he had 19 points on 17 assists. And Zdeno Chara, believe it or not, actually played 55 games last year as well. So two workhorse defensemen that the Capitals lost. And you look at their, although they have to replace a bunch of defense, you look at their goaltending situation, it's not great either. You know, they did bring back Vitek Vanacek. He was briefly a member of the Kraken, but then they got him right back in the offseason before the training camp. But I don't really like the tandem of Samsonov and Vanacek. It wasn't great last year, and I do expect the Capitals to really struggle defensively this year. And that should be enough to keep them out of the playoffs, especially when you look at the rest of the teams in the Metro Division. You've got teams like my Islanders, the Hurricanes, and the Penguins, who are repeat offenders in the playoffs, it seems, each season. And then you have some young and intriguing teams like the Rangers and the Devils, who are looking to take that next step in their development as a franchise. And I think the Rangers are going to make the playoffs this year. Even if you look at a team like the Flyers, they could surprise some teams. I'm not really big on the Flyers, but if Carter Hart plays as well as he did a couple seasons ago, I think that they certainly could make a playoff run. So not to mention, look at the Atlantic Division. You got the Panthers, the Bruins, Lightning, Maple Leafs. I think all four of those teams are a lock to make the playoffs. That's leaving the Metro with only a maximum of 4 teams to make the postseason. And I could even see the Senators or Canadiens making the playoffs as that second wild card as well in the Atlantic. So the Metro may only have 3 spots here. I think the Capitals are going to have to rebuild very, very soon. And I think this is going to be the season that's the eye-opener for Washington, the season that starts that rebuilding process where they start to get rid of those big-name guys with big-name contracts and look for a younger team. They're a very old team. And I think they missed the playoffs for the first time since the 2013-14 season. We're getting plus money on this bet as well. So I'm going to take the Capitals to miss the postseason this season.
All right, Ron Romanelli speaking like a general manager here. Let's get younger guys. Washington Capitals miss the playoffs plus 115. I lived it here, Chris, with the LA Kings. You know, it's such a speed game right now, and as you get older, you just can't keep up with that speed level now in the game. And Ron makes a good point here about as you age, you're just not as fast. It's like these guys are sprinting when they come out in these line changes.
Yeah, I think Ron was just trying to stay on my good side, saying the Maple Leafs were going to make the playoffs, but that's neither here nor there. But it's definitely a possibility. The Capitals, like Ron said, are aging. Alex Ovechkin, it almost just seems like this is a guy who could play until his mid-40s. But the problem is, he's still got to have pieces around him to get in the puck, and that's just that's just the reality of the situation in the NHL that we're living in right now. But dare I ask, Ron, if the Capitals don't make the playoffs? I know we're hearing a lot of people saying that the Capitals, they're associating the Caps with winning the division. If you don't think they're going to win the division, dare I ask who's going to win that division?
I think right now, I think the favorite is my Islanders. I don't want to sound biased, but I mean, they made it to back-to-back semifinals and only got better, in my opinion. So I would say they're the favorite, but I also could see the Hurricanes, the Penguins, even a dark horse like the Rangers, I wouldn't be surprised. I can't see the Capitals doing it again this year.
All right, Ron Romanelli here, Washington Capitals to miss the playoffs at plus 115. All right, Ron, let's take a look over at Pick Dogs. We know there's just one game on the board tonight from Major League Baseball playoff game between Cards and Dodgers, but it's a football week. Tomorrow it all gets started with NFL and college football. There'll be 2 baseball games as well. Divisional series begin. What do you have going on over at Pick Dogs Premium?
Yeah, for tonight's NL wildcard game, I have a play on a team total. Last night we went outside the box and took Nathan Eovaldi over that strikeout total, 5.5 strikeouts. So we're looking to cash another wildcard play tonight with my team total. And as always, check out those long-term plans. Not a bad idea to sign up for one of those 3-day plans. Maybe on Friday you get my college football Saturday and then the NFL Sunday. And if you make money there, go ahead and upgrade to a 7-day or a monthly package. We have plenty of sports coming our way. We know the NHL next week, the NBA soon after. Got college football and the NFL, and then college hoops in the beginning of November 9th. So super exciting things at Pick Dogs Premium. So check me out, Ron Romanelli.
College basketball getting here sooner and sooner. I would be surprised they do a Halloween start. That just seems great for people coming in their costumes. It's getting close. We're going to get started in October pretty soon. All right, get on board with Ron Romanelli over at Pick Dog Premium. Showing profit yesterday, showing profit past 7 days, showing profit past 30 days. So get on board with Ron Romanelli. He's got his play tonight from the wild card game between Cardinals and Dodgers. As Ron said, take those winnings and get that 3-day all sports pass. Every play from Ron for 3 days. College football, NFL, the divisional round of the divisional series now for baseball begins tomorrow. And of course, 2-for-1 cap promotion, even greater value when you match up Ron with, say, Big Al, with Sean, with Ron, with Chris. Even greater value there at Pick Dogs Premium. All right, Ron, as always, great having you show. Have yourself a great night. We'll tune in the weekends, Saturday or Sunday this weekend with Mitch and company.
Yes, sounds good. I'll see you guys there. And I also want to mention, Chris and I are actually going to be doing some videos for the Sports Chat Place YouTube, going over the college and NFL schedule. So check those out at Sports Chat Place YouTube.
Sports Chat Place YouTube will do. All right, Ron, have yourself a great evening. We'll talk again next week. All right, let's continue on here with the drive-thru. Here, joined with Chris Ruffolo. And yes, it is. It's Chris's turn up and center tonight. And we're going to take a look here at a Major League Baseball series here between the White Sox and Astros, but you had a little opinion on that Auburn game, didn't you?
Oh, yeah, that's what I was saying. I was looking at that the under in that game. Like I said, I think it's going to be black and blue the entire way. That's one of those old style Georgia Auburn games where it could easily just be the first to 20 wins that game. I think it's going to be a lot of hard hitting in that game.
It looks that way. All right, this is a really intriguing series here. This White Sox and Astros. Boy, this is a pretty good one. I was looking at it. What do you got?
Well, for me, we're going to be looking at the series here. Now, this matchup between the Houston Astros and the Chicago White Sox, it's almost a battle of old versus new. You have the Astros who have been in the playoffs and the World Series discussions for, almost every season since the core group of guys like Altuve, Carlos Correa, Yuli Gurriel, Bregman and company all came together a few years ago. And now you add in the likes of Kyle Tucker and Jordan Alvarez, and it's easy to see why the Astros could be favored with a wealth of playoff experience and arguably the American League's deepest lineup. But on the other side, you have a White Sox team that's wanting to have a changing of the guard, so to speak, and that's still the lineup as well, featuring guys like Jose Abreu, Luis Robert, Yoan Moncada, Eloy Jimenez, among others. But now I think there is some value to be had with the White Sox here. Now, the Astros come in with all that playoff experience. That gives them an edge here. And, they've been there, done that department. But the Astros also had some serious discipline at the dish this season, swinging at just 45% of pitches and just a 21% swing and miss rate. But I think the key to the White Sox winning this series is getting the pitching to do its job. The White Sox had a league-high 30% whiff rate this season. Now, yes, they also had 10.2 strikeouts per 9 innings, despite a lot of inconsistency across the board. You had Lance Lynn, 11 straight starts, winless run to end the season. Dylan Cease, Lucas Giolito, Carlos Rodon, had to navigate some bumpy waters, some injuries, but yet they're still here and they came out smelling like roses. Now, side by side, I think the White Sox have the edge in the bullpen, though. You've got guys like Kimbrel, Liam Hendricks, Aaron Bummer. You've got some great long relievers there. For the Astros, Kendall Graveman started out well, but he struggled lately since coming over to the Astros since the trade deadline. I don't like the starting rotation for the Astros. Zach Greinke's getting older. Lance McCullers and Framber Valdez can be hit or miss, to put it nicely. and I'm just not sold on Houston's bullpen. I think this could be the White Sox time to make a move. They're putting it together at just the right time. I think we have an upset brewing here. I'm taking the White Sox to win the series.
All right, Chris likes the White Sox in this series. This to me is a tough one to pick, only because we know Chicago's had their issues on the road with one game under 500. And one thing also strikes me here with this Houston Astros team is they have pounded the AL West, which means they're probably close to 500 against the rest of baseball. So that's why I'm kind of on both sides of the fence here. But remember, you've talked about the Houston bullpen. Remember what they did last year? Their fourth and fifth starter was very effective. Was it Christian Javier and who was there was it Garcia? I think they had Luis
Garcia.
Yeah, their starters performed very well in bullpen roles last year.
Oh, and that's definitely 100% correct. Luis Garcia definitely going to be one of the bright stars in this Houston rotation, as Christian Javier. Both can come out in the bullpen. And we always talk about the Houston Astros potentially being an 8th inning, 9th inning team where they do their damage in the later innings. Like I said, the problem for me is that the Chicago White Sox have a pretty damn good bullpen. And if they can't get those runs late, if they fall behind 3-2, you hand the ball to guys like Craig Kimbrell and Liam Hendricks, that could be lights out for the rest of the night. And I believe this is still a 5-game series, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, 5 games.
All you need is one road win from the White Sox, and that could come tomorrow night again against Lance McCullers, who, like I said, has been very shaky. And he does normally his best work at home, but he's been very shaky. All you need is the White Sox to steal one, and they go back home where they've been really good this season. So that's what I'm banking on with the White Sox in this one.
Yeah, banking on with that. Again, Houston, that team. Remember that Oakland Athletic Series last year at Dodger Stadium, and they played at Dodger Stadium. That one was.
And that's why I'm saying I'm glad you touched on that, because it's just one of those things where it's just there's certain things you can't explain, and that series was just one of them. Where just it was just I have no.
Now I will say it was very hot. I will say this, being in LA, it was very hot for that series. I mean, it was 90+ degrees. They were playing day games, right? A lot of them were day games because it was Houston and Oakland, right? They weren't featured in prime time, so. When you play at Dodger Stadium at that hour, the ball is going to fly, and that's what happened last year. Houston was just hitting homers. But again, you talked about the pitching here. Lynn's kind of funny though. When you see him in his post-game interviews, they give you a little off the wall. Giolito, you've got some quality there, right?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. That's why I said with Lance Lynn, this whole Chicago pitching staff has had their ups and downs. Rodon's dealt with injuries over the course of the season. And like I said, Lance Lynn, I think it was 11 straight starts where he didn't record a win to end the year. But this is still a guy that's pitched to an ERA just over 2, I believe, and he still has had strikeouts left, right, and center. And again, yes, the Astros have shown discipline. They haven't been swinging and missing much, but they're also not a team that you're going to do well against if you pitch to contact, because they hit the ball fairly well. So I think that's where the pitching has to do its job. And like I said, if you get into those later innings and it's a close game, I give the edge to the White Sox in the bullpen.
He likes the bullpen there, of course. So don't worry about Dallas Keuchel. He'll be in the game only if the White Sox are down by 5 or more runs, and it's hopeless. So he will not see he won't see it unless Chicago builds a 7+ run lead. Then you may see Keuchel in for an inning or so.
Even then, it's not safe.
It's not safe.
That's one thing I've learned with Dallas Keuchel, because wasn't Dallas Keuchel in that game against the Cubs, where they went down or they went up 10-1 or something like that. They went up or down 10-1, and it finished 17-13, I think it was.
But the power of the postseason, the rosters, right? You can sit them down for this one and bring in somebody else, and then have them play the next. They do that. They monkey around with those rosters. So keep an eye on that as well. You may not even see Keuchel even suited up. All right, Chris, let's take a look over at Pick Dog Cream. You're hoping for that. All right, let's take a look over at Pick Dog Cream tonight. One game in Major League Baseball. You're looking good here. Past 30 days, 376 units of profit. We got that Dodger and Cardinal baseball game, which will start here in about an hour my way. And, of course, the divisional series start tomorrow. We got football. What do you have going on over at the site?
Well, tonight, it's Whale Bet Wednesday. Normally, I like to have bigger packages on Whale Bet Wednesday, but this time of year kind of holds it. But that doesn't mean we don't have a max unit bet on the board. My favorite play on the board, my whale bet for tonight's MLB action, as well as we're going to have some football tomorrow on the board. I can already see it, as well as Friday and Saturday, all the way up to Sunday with the football action on the board. Guys, these are where you really want to hop on the long-term passes, because you're going to get the most bang for your buck on the board with all the football that's going on, whether it's just me or another capper as part of the 2-for-1 capper deal. Like I said, we got the season passes up there for all the sports. MLB for the playoffs, either football as well as the combo pass. Guys, I can't stress this enough. Go check out Pick Dogs because there are going to be a ton of options there that are going to save you money and make you money at the same time.
That's right, guys. Get on board here with Chris Ruffolo over at Pick Dogs Pimp, showing good profit here the past 30 days. And get on board with this wild card well bet for tonight. His best play for Major League Baseball. And of course, take those winnings, go long term with Chris. 3, 7, and 30 all sports pass. When I get a 7-day pass with Chris, that will guarantee you all his plays from Week 6 college football, Week 5 NFL, Divisional Series of Major League Baseball. It'll take about a week to wrap up, so you get on board with that as well. And of course, take those winnings, go long term with Chris Ruffolo with that 7-day all sports pass. Add a second capper with 2-for-1 capper promotion, even greater value. All right, let's continue on here on the show with Chris. By the way, if you missed any of the picks, we're going to do a complete recap at the end of the show. Now it's time for my play tonight. We're going to look here at college football. Louisville to host Virginia. Louisville laying 2.5 total. He sits here at 67. Now I'm going to go ahead and take Louisville here at minus the 2.5 points. And, you know, I respect Louisville rebounding following their opening loss at Ole Miss. They pulled off a home upset of UCF behind 501 yards of offense. They covered both their recent road games at Florida State and Wake Forest. Prior to their win at Miami, the Virginia Cavaliers had a really poor defensive performance against North Carolina and Wake Forest. Louisville quarterback Malik Cunningham completed 64% of his passes, averaging 273 yards passing, 8 yards per pass step. One thing about the Cavaliers, they have looked really bad against the good passing teams in the Tar Heels and Demon Deacons. Louisville keeps it in the air, and they cover this one at minus 2.5, Chris.
Yeah, Tony, you had to pick a game with two teams that I couldn't really get a good feel for because, like you said, with Virginia, this is a team under Bronco Mendenhall that should be playing better than they are. And Louisville, a team that, you know, they have a talented player, Malik Cunningham, but they haven't really been able to get it going. But like I said before, once you see what Malik Cunningham can do when he's really going, that's when the Louisville offense can really get behind him. When he goes, they go. And I think that that's just going to be another situation here. I'm with you on Louisville. I think they win this one by at least 3 or 4 points.
All right, Louisville minus 2.5 against Virginia. This is a Saturday game. It has a start time of 3 p.m. Eastern time. Guys, over at Pick Dogs Premium, I have my best play tonight. Well, it's the only game going on. Cardinals and Dodgers. I have a total in this one, so get on board with that. I'm also part of that 2-for-1 capper promotion. If you match me up with, well, another capper with my 3, 7, 30 L sports pass, you can match me up with Chris, Rod Zawacki, Mitch, Big Al McMordie, Sean Murphy, Ron Romanelli. James Clark, who's doing fantastic work. 2-for-1 capper promotion, great value right now over at Pick Dogs Premium. Let's continue on with the show. Now it's time to do our show recap, and we're going to go ahead and look at the picks for tonight. It'll just be Chris and I. Joe Duffy got it started. Says take Akron plus 14 against Bowling Green. Dionne was on Alabama minus 18 against Texas A&M. Joe D'Amico, Wake Forest minus 6.5 against Syracuse. Big Al McMordie, Auburn plus 15 against Georgia. Sean Murphy, Cincinnati laying 28.5 against Temple. Ron Romanelli, Washington Capitals to miss the playoffs at plus 115. Chris was on the White Sox to win their series against the Houston Astros at plus 112. Yours truly, Louisville, minus 2.5 against Virginia. Chris, other than your pick, which one do you like the best?
Well, Tony, I'm going to say this as a thank you to the people that stick around to watch the recap. You're going to get a little bit of a bonus here, an early premium for me that's going to be on the list on Saturday. I'm with Dionne here. I love Alabama in a rout against Texas A&M.
I'm going to piggyback all of you. Alabama minus 18 against Texas A&M. I think it's a short number here. Texas A&M's offense not very good, and of course Alabama I think will have their way here against Texas A&M. All right, that'll do for this edition of the Drive-Thru, guys. Tune in again tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll do it all over again. We'll have 8 cappers on the show giving out live free sports picks for the games in primetime. Have a little bit more to choose from. We will have a baseball game in primetime, but we got the football tomorrow and on the weekend as well. Chris is happy for that. But this was a fun show because we were able to mix in some weekend college football. I kind of liked it.
Absolutely. These are fun shows. It's just like, I'm just ready to have more to pick from, that's all.
That's right, a little bit more to pick from. Don't worry, it's coming, man. I couldn't believe when I heard we were getting closer and closer to October for the start of college basketball. I thought we had at least 2 weeks to breathe, but we didn't. It's going to come right. It's going to be right on top of us.
November 9th is a day that is circled on my calendar, man. I didn't even care who it was, but I saw Oral Roberts, the first team on the calendar. I'm like, give it to me. I don't care. I'll take it.
All right, we were talking about Chris. He was number 1 in college basketball for last season, so he looked at number two. That's right, number 2.
Number 2 behind Big Al.
Oh, that's right, number 2. That's right. You made that big run at the end. You got close. Couldn't pass Big Al in college.
Close, but no cigar. But that's fine. I love, as much as I love Big Al, I'm coming for that crown this year.
All right, he's coming for the crown. All right, guys, let's bring in our crew from today's show. We'll wave goodbye to everyone. Have yourself a great night, and we'll talk to you guys